Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we think might actually happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button, I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you'll be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7 and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Okay, let's make a start by taking a look at what is going on today. So over in Japan, we have the BOJ interest rate decision. In France, we have the inflation rate year on year. In Italy, we have the inflation rate year on year. In Germany, we have the inflation rate year on year. And the USA, we have the price index year on year. Okay, so a fair few things going on today. Just to kind of recap as well on the CPI, the one that really does drive the price action. In October here, it's actually going to be coming out on the 14th of November. So let me just zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit clearer there. Let's bring this back down, right? So the last ones that we had were actually released on October the 12th. That was for September. And we're going to see October's data on the 14th of November. Okay, so this is the consumer price index. This is the one that really does move the market quite a bit. Whereas the other ones, they're okay. They do move a little bit, but nothing too major. Okay, so just bear those in mind that actually we're a couple of weeks out on the CPI numbers, but everything else is looking okay. So on that note, it's probably worth us also just jumping on over into some data on Bitcoin before we jump down into the price action, because I do want to kind of highlight that here with the inflows and the outflows, we've actually seen the inflows outpacing that of the outflows, basically meaning that there's surplus supply that the demand just isn't soaking up. And therefore, when we see this and we see the price pushing up the way that we have done, it's important that we understand that that's not natural. Okay, that's not normal. You don't normally see that. And that's actually something else that's actually explaining why the price is moving. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But here, we don't have anything to kind of give us a lot of confidence in the market. Now, also, we can see the shrimps have been coming out a little bit. The dolphins have been coming out. Over here, we have the sharks coming out, but we have got whale growth and we've got kraken growth. So basically, you can see the two areas which are soaking up to Bitcoin, and it's not coming from the sharks or the dolphins or the shrimps. And basically, the larger wallets are accumulating. Now, we have to understand that there's always a buyer and a seller. When we talk about liquidity, that works on both ends. Someone's going to be providing, let's say, USDT, and someone's providing Bitcoin. In the case here, what we're seeing is these two wallets are growing. It's because they're using their USDT to accumulate BTC. Now, a lot of people might speculate and say, why are they not buying at these lows when it was 18K? Why are they buying it now, right? And the thing is, you've got to bear in mind is that they can only buy when someone is selling and such a volume. So what you have to look for, what wallets are selling, what wallets are coming out, so that those whales can actually accumulate. They can't just buy up something if no one is selling it. Okay, so you've got to bear in mind that these things have to go together side by side. Now, in 2018, we saw this flat period of price action in the middle here, and we saw the shrimps getting shaken out of the space. During that exact flat moment, you also see the whales are accumulating. There's a seller and there's a buyer. And you can also take a look at what the kraken did. We're dropping that on the market after accumulating during the bear market, dropping it in, bringing the price down right into the final lows. And whilst that was happening, these whales were heavily accumulating right there at the end as well. Okay, so you've got to bear in mind that there's a lot of pieces of data to the puzzle. We can't just look at price action on a chart. We have to piece together multiple different things. Okay, so on that note, we should probably take a look at some of the liquidity. Well, actually not liquidations, but let's actually take a look at the kind of sentiment as it feels right now. So in the last 1 hour, at the point of me doing this recording, we can see that it was about just short of 60% of people wanting to short the market. And when we can actually see down here across these 12 platforms, it's actually feeling a little bit more bullish at 62%. Now, some of this is obviously going to be interesting because it's not going to quite go the way that the majority think. As we come over to liquidations, we can see we've had 108 million, nothing much, but it's pretty much been long positions that we've liquidated. Now, if I come over to the price action and we start reflecting on what's going on here, we can start to piece together what the sentiment is feeling like, what people think they're doing in terms of those leverage positions, and then how this market might actually move against them. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, just on a note that the DXY, when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And when the DXY goes down, like we have here, we can obviously see the Bitcoin price going up. So just like I was saying before, when it's talking about inflows and outflows, with how we have actually more inflows than we do outflows, as in there's more supply than the demand can handle, then you have to understand that it's actually the price of the DXY or the DXY, the dollar index, that's driving the price of Bitcoin up, not actual demand, which means it's nothing real actually going on in there. And so we want to be very much aware that as that DXY looks to move up, we're going to see Bitcoin crash down again. Okay, now I don't think we're right there yet. I'm expecting a bit of a small pull to the downside. And then once that is done, the DXY goes back up again. Okay, that's kind of my thoughts on the DXY, which then leads us to what's going on here with Bitcoin. So basically down here, we can see that we've got this kind of 335 corrective structure coming in. We're looking to maybe finish it off just a little bit more down to the downside and obviously then push up. Now, as it stands at the moment, whether we have a new low on this area here or not, I don't know yet. If I just take in this current position, we can see that we've got this theoretical 21,254 through to about 21,634 on this kind of estimated fifth wave high point. But for now, if we do go down lower, then we'll expect to push those targets up slightly higher as well. Just bear those things in mind, but essentially this looks like we're going to pull back down just a bit more before we move on up. We take a look at this stochastic RSI as well, and we can see that we're nice and high on this stochastic RSI, meaning that we're going to shift to the downside. But our sentiment is to go short right now, at least on the hourly aggregation, whereas actually in the 5-minute charts, it's saying that we're going to go long. So do expect some crazy kind of volatility within here. I would expect some kind of wick to the downside or something to that effect to finish off this move, liquidate anyone who's going long, and then take the price up. Okay, the market makers don't want anyone to necessarily win. So just watch out for that. The 4-hour chart is nice and primed, ready for a good move to the upside. So that fifth wave isn't a problem at all, according to the 4-hour chart. The 8 hours also progressed quite nicely to the downside. That's not a problem. The daily needs a correction. The weekly needs a correction. Nothing has really changed there. So for the most part, we've got lots of potential moves here for BTC to move up into this final high point. Once this is done, though, there is absolutely no structure that I can see that hold us up or for this to require to go up any higher. Even the DXY looks like it's ready to pump quite hard. So for the most part, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to continue surging above and beyond this area. Theoretically, kind of topping out maybe towards this 21,666. That would actually be a trigger point of making something a little bit more bullish on this entire structure. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for the most part, that's my expectation as a B wave here. Now, pulling back down, we have got this low target of 16,475. Now, controversial, yes, but it's part of the macro structure, and market structure is very important. Lots of different ways of looking at it. I can really zoom this out quite a bit here. And we can see that we had the running flat correction in here. Okay, and then we're looking at this one. This would basically be 3 up and 3 down. And, you know, if it does pierce this June low, then this could be a setup for another either running flat, regular flat, or irregular flat correction. Okay, and that could be an interesting kind of structure that takes us up higher before collapsing once more. So I'm thinking that we have this potential to come down into this low area, maybe even as low as 15K, because there's lots of liquidity there, and then see a really good run up higher. And I do mean a pretty good run up higher, potentially even pushing up towards the $29,000 level. Of course, that's a bit of speculation because we don't know what's going to happen fully down this side, but the setup on this is very, very interesting at the moment. Okay, so we're going to keep a close eye on that and see how it kind of goes. But for now, all looking pretty good for Bitcoin. Do expect some volatility. I'm not expecting too much from the weekend, but you never understand how retail investors' minds work. So we'll bear that in mind, that they could absolutely either tank it or go for a run with it. But essentially, it looks like we're primed for a bit of a push to the upside and then an absolute collapse in the price action of BTC. Other than that, guys, there isn't terribly too much more to report. If you're looking for more details, then do join us on the Twitch streams. We do cover everything in a lot more detail. I kind of ramped through this pretty quickly, but it gives you a pretty good idea as to kind of what is going on with the price action of BTC. So I'm going to leave it right there. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all that said, done, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.